All right, and some breaking news coming in from Bangladesh at this hour. Reports are now suggesting that the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has in fact resigned and fled to a safer area. This is a major development coming in from Bangladesh. Sheikh Hasina seems to have resigned and has fled her residence. These are the latest reports coming in. Remember, Sheikh Hasina has been in power for 20 years. So a very, very significant move coming in there from Bangladesh. Reports also suggest that she has left the capital Dhaka in the face of those mass protests demanding her resignation. Reports suggest Hasina and her sister have been taken to a safe shelter away from her official residence. Now, thousands of Bangladeshi protesters have stormed the palace of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Those are reports coming in at this point. But what the significant news that is to be told is that the Prime Minister may have resigned amid those mass protests that have been rocking Dhaka over the last couple of days. Siddhant Sibal is getting us the very latest on this. And Siddhant, what more can you tell us at this point?
Well, the situation remains precarious. One thing is confirmed that Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has left the capital city, Dhaka. We are now witnessing visuals from the country of the protests, and these visuals, of course, show that how essentially the people are out on the streets. There are also reports of the official residence being stormed as well. Now, these visuals remnant of what happened in Sri Lanka, what happened in Afghanistan as well, and now it's happening in Dhaka. Within minutes, the situation is changing, and we do expect the army chief to shortly address the country as well. Who is in charge? Nobody knows. But one thing is for sure, the era of Sheikh Hasina might be over. She was the longest running women leader of a country anyway. She became the Prime Minister in 2009, and it looks like her era is coming to an end. Live on television, if you look at the Bangladeshi newspaper, TV, there are visuals of how the protests have been taking place. And of course, we know that for past few weeks, the situation was in boils. And we also know how essentially the people were angry with Sheikh Hasina. Now, essentially, what next is something that will be closely watched.
Absolutely, Siddhant Sibal. Stay with us on the phone line as we are reporting at the moment news from Bangladesh. Big breaking news coming in that Sheikh Hasina has resigned. The army chief is likely to hold a press conference, and we believe that Hasina has fled Dhaka. Shamsher Chaudhary, former diplomat, is now joining us for the very latest on this. Sir, can you throw some more light on this major development that's coming in from Bangladesh at this point? The Sheikh Hasina has stepped down and has fled to a safer area. The army chief likely to make a press conference.
Yes, it is true that Sheikh Hasina has resigned and has left. The news is that she and her sister has left the country. One news that she has gone to India, perhaps somewhere in Hyderabad, that you can check and maybe find out how authentic that is. And the students, protesters have taken over Bhavan, which is the official residence of the Prime Minister. It's like a rerun of the Colombo situation that happened 2 years ago, where Gotabaya had to run out and go to Singapore. But she has resigned. She has left the country. The army chief is apparently talking to some civil society members. Whether she spoke to the political parties or not, my political party has not been called. None of the alliance members of the Awami League government have been called to the meeting. Apparently, 2 people from Jatiyo Party have been are there with the chief, maybe 1 or 2 from leadership, maybe 1 or 2 from Awami League, but we are not clear. The army chief has still not come on television. It has been moved back because the negotiations are still going on. The legal and constitutional problem has to be addressed. because the Constitution does not allow an unconstitutional takeover. It does not allow a master law. So the Parliament, but the Constitution allows a declaration of emergency, which will be valid for 120 days but can be extended. But that can be declared to the President on the advice of the Prime Minister. But now we have no Prime Minister also.
Right.
So I think the Chief is, one of the persons the Chief is talking to is Mr. Asif Nazrul, who is international relations or international law teacher at Dhaka University, rabidly anti-Awamiji, very close links with the BNP. He has legal knowledge, so he's been talked. Another member of the last caretaker government of 2007, Hussein Zindur Rahman, apparently he has also been called to have discussions. Now, what prompted the army to take this move is still not clear. Is it internal pressure from within the military or not know? Apparently, the security group meeting yesterday did not go well for the PM.
Okay.
I'm personally not happy with is the kind of looting taking place inside the Prime Minister's residence. Which can go out of control. So we are waiting for a legal constitutional situation to emerge. Has to be there, otherwise it becomes unconstitutional.
Yeah.
So one has to see.
Yeah, Sheikh Hasina's leaving has certainly left a vacuum. There's some very important points you made there. I just want to confirm the first thing that you had said, in fact, that Sheikh Hasina and her sister have left the country. Sources are indicating that a military helicopter took off from Banga Bhavan, where Sheikh Hasina was seen at 2:30 p.m. local time, and has left for, many sources are indicating, West Bengal in India. An AFP news agency also reporting that Sheikh Hasina and her younger sister have gone to a safer place. So those initial comments, sir, that you made have seemed to be confirmed at the moment. And as you were talking about how now there will be a political vacuum and constitutional legal decisions will have to be taken in the next couple of days, and hopefully with the press conference by the army, they will be able to quell some of those protests and anger on the streets, sir.
I think the Prime Minister would find it a safe place inside Bangladesh. So probably they would have to go to India. You are saying one section should go to West Bengal, the other section should go to Hyderabad.
Yeah.
So we do not know. But there is celebration all around. It's just like a rerun of the Colombo situation.
It is, but what happens from now? I mean, Sheikh Hasina has a very long political legacy. She was someone who has been in power for so many years. And in a sense, do you think that she was unable to contain the anger on the streets and her government failed deeply?
She has completely ignored the public resentment that has been growing for a long time. I mean, flawed elections, number one. Number two, corruption, unbridled corruption. Total lack of any governance and accountability. And very dismissive, even when the students' protest first started. If he had stepped in at that very moment, opened a dialogue with political leaders, with student leaders, then perhaps this absolute situation which is now, I mean, I can see people sitting on military vehicles celebrating. It's like what happened in Philippines 20 years ago and what happened in Sri Lanka a few years ago. So, but Sri Lanka found a solution. They had the army took over and then they get an election and Corazon Aquino won the election. In Sri Lanka also, this vacuum was not created because somebody else took over. But what we have right now, apparently a constitutional vacuum. So that is why I think Asif will go. But then there's one gentleman, Ali Riaz, who lives in America, who's been virulently anti-Awamiji for a long time. Has also come up with a formula and list of people who can make up an interim government. So anybody linked with Awami League or Awami League will obviously not be in that list. But our constitution says the parliament is still there. Parliament has not been disbanded. The parliament cannot be disbanded by anybody. Except the president, that too the prime minister's advice. So can the president appoint somebody to act as prime minister within the parliament? We do not know. He can. He can take somebody to come and, to cover it, say, next 2 months, 3 months period, something like that. So let's see what happens. People are surrounding a big statue of Bangabandhu in front of the Prime Minister's office right now. I don't know if they'll try to bring it down, but they are not doing that right now. So it's a chaotic situation, but there's a lot of celebration at the same time.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.